It's the Sportz Nutz.
Listening to the Sportz Nutz.
Welcome everybody to the Sportz Nutz. We are so glad to be back with you guys. Real quick, did y'all know this is episode number 84? Matt, what retirement center are we going to next?
I don't know, man, but I think our eyesight's starting to leave us right now, man. So, got to go get them cataracts fixed. We getting old, a little long in the tooth, as our grandparents would say.
That's right. Hey, guys, you know who this is. Matt, how you been, man? I haven't seen you in a little while.
Man, been good, man. Just living, man.
Yeah. Hey, this gentleman right here doesn't need an introduction, but Hank, man, welcome back. We missed you, brother. Can you hear us? Hank.
Hey, man. You doing all right?
Yeah, man. How you been, man?
Yes, I'm here.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Welcome back,
man. What you been up to, man? I'm just living, bro.
Oh no. Hank's on the lag.
Sir.
He's on the lag.
Hey, Shane, how you doing, brother?
Man, been doing good, man. Getting ready to head up to the mountains this weekend, take some stuff up there, get ready for the big move, big jump.
Your mic, you're fading in and out.
Just get ready for a big move, up to the mountains. Is that better?
No, you might want to take your headphones off just because. Turn your headphones off and come back to us. Dustin, man. Hey, guys. Dustin from Tired Sportsman. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Good, man. Thank you so much for coming.
Lovely.
Hey, this is going to be a great episode. Before we go any further, I have feedback. Matt, did you do something? Okay. Well, let's go ahead and air our tequila grill ad real quick.
Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. Buy one, get one 50% off drinks.
Tequila's Grill Mexican restaurant has homemade salsa bars. They have the most authentic, most delicious, and most affordable Mexican cuisine in town.
Yes, Tequila's Grill is some of the best food there is. Hey, guys, we have a jam-packed show lined up for you. We're excited. Our guest, Mr. Gerald Riggs of the Super Bowl champion Washington Redskins and the Atlanta Falcons Ring of Honor is in backstage and he is ready to come and join on. Guys, if you quickly go ahead.
Is better?
Yes, much better.
Okay.
So go ahead and get your popcorn ready and let's have fun. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, the man himself, Mr. Gerald Riggs of the Washington Redskins and your Atlanta Falcons. Mr. Riggs, thank you so much for coming on. We really do appreciate it, man. How are you doing?
Man, I'm great. Been looking forward to it. Always a great pleasure when people still kind of remember us old heads and give us a chance to come on and talk a little bit about, what we honestly think about, the day and age of football now and how things are, and get a chance to. I'm sure as I see here, Matt has the old Falcon hat on right there. It's always, that's my first love. So we come on and talk about the Falcons and a little bit of the Redskins. It's always a pleasure.
So I told you, you probably don't remember because it's been a long time, but you and I met with our good friend Jamal Anderson. Mm-hmm. It's been a really long. I would say it's probably 11 years since I've spoken to Jamal. And I know his son goes to Clemson University up here. Yeah. I'm in Easley, South Carolina. So Matt is more closer to Norcross, Georgia. Hank is in Memphis. Dustin is closer to Dallas, Texas. He's actually with another show called Tire Sports Network. He wanted to come on because he's actually a pretty good fan of yours as well. I mean, who isn't? You're the greatest. And then Shane, he only lives like right now 25, 30 minutes away from me. He lives in Simpsonville. He's actually moving to North Carolina. Yeah. So we're spread out pretty far, but it's funny you say that the Atlanta Falcons are your first love. Yes, they're absolutely mine. So my sister introduced me to the Atlanta Falcons in '92. Really? Thank you, Jessica, for doing that. I absolutely love my Dirty Birds. I was at the last home game ever at Fulton County Stadium.
Right.
I was at the first home game at the Georgia Dome. I was at the Monday night game when Prime and Andre Rison got in that fight. That was an interesting matchup. And then I've been to several other like preseason games at the Benz. I haven't gone to a regular season game yet because I live up in South Carolina, but that is definitely on my bucket list. I think Mercedes-Benz is absolutely one of the most beautiful stadiums there is around. And I don't care what people say, Jerry's World or not. No, I'm sorry, but Arthur Blank hit the nail on the head by creating one of the most immaculate facilities there ever was.
Too bad we didn't have it when we were playing. That's all.
Oh gosh,
it would have been nice, and we didn't have to play on that Braves baseball field half of the time.
Yeah, that was an interesting experience.
Up there.
So
and what was even cooler though is you got to be in the same place that baseball played. I know that up until recently Oakland was the last, but now they're no longer the team there. But it's a lot of transition that has happened. So obviously I'm beyond excited to have you come on my show. Thank you so much for that. So the first question I have is, obviously there has been a lot of notable athletes who have gotten to don the covenant number 42. Obviously, Jackie Robinson, Mariano Rivera, all of them, the good names and stuff. What does that mean to you, knowing that you are associated with some of the greatest in other sports as well, who wore the number 42?
I thought about this a couple of times years back, and certainly with the Jackie Robinson, and then guys, Charlie Taylor. It was there are a bunch of guys who won that number, and it's may not have had maybe the stellar career as some of them, but it for some reason it has stuck out to be a number of special significance, and I'm just glad and honored that I had the opportunity to wear it. Never once thinking back in the early day that it really symbolized some things that were that turned up to be historically pretty much visible with in society. So when we start playing, we just want to get on the field. We want to get in the uniform. We want to be able to be a part of the team, contribute, and hopefully one day be a star, so to speak. So getting that number at the time coming out of Arizona State and having 37 at the time, and then when I got there and not knowing at the time, really, like I say, that it had so much significance with other sports, not only just football. So it was later on it became pretty special, but in the early part of my career, it was just I just wanted to play. I was a football guy. I wanted to get out there and show what I can do and make my mama proud of me.
Absolutely, Matt. Go ahead.
Yes. Now, first of all, Gerald, thanks a lot for coming to the show, man. Like I said, a lot of people, well, I know me personally, as well as I know Brandon as well. We've, and as I've learned, Dustin as well, we've followed your career, and we appreciate everything you've done for our team. I can't speak about Dustin, but for our team, we think you've done it. But so you won a Super Bowl with the Washington Redskins. Now that's a feat that are not a lot of athletes, have the privilege of saying. So when that clock hit zero and that crowning achievement took place, what was the first thing that went through your mind?
You know what? Gosh, thinking back, that's a long way back. I think it was more just the fact that finally, I get a chance to play in a big game. I get a chance to play in one that really, really is going to be in the books forever. all the accolades and some of the things that I was able to accomplish. Some guys are gonna go by them. Some things are gonna happen where records fall and things do come up. Other players come along, and some people remember you, some people won't. But I can always say that I was a part of that championship team, and I've never played in a championship up to that point. High school, college, nothing. So to be a part of that, it was like finally. Yes, regardless of what names you're gonna remember in the game, I played in that game, and I had a part in that game. So that was probably the first thing that came to mind, along with I wanted to see my family and all that sort of stuff at the end of the game. But initially, that was my thought.
Shane, go ahead.
Oh yeah, well, today's game is a lot harder hitting. Everything else, that we see a lot of, player safety stuff that the NFL is trying to implement. A lot of concerns coming in, wearing the soft shell helmets and stuff during the games. We've seen a lot of linemen do it. Tua's done it. I think we're going to see more and more of it. Do you think, that the NFL is headed in the right direction with that? I know a lot of us older guys kind of, wish we saw some more of the harder hitting, which, we still see some of that, but it's a whole lot tighter of an area to kind of fit in. What kind of your thoughts on that? And, if you were in the NFL, kind of what would you kind of speak up and, kind of let them know, hey, let's try to change it in this way?
Well, again, as I said, I'm an old school guy, and a lot of us old guys sit there and watch the games and whatnot, and we used to, that there's a lot of harder hitting or whatnot. I say some of these guys are kind of soft these days. First of all, you don't get acclimated to the hits. You can go out there and turn it loose on Sunday, that one day a week, but back in our time, we were lighting it up at practice. And it was all about playing practicing the way that we were going to play. More injuries now. The equipment is supposed to be much better, but you continue to have, some of these almost career-ending injuries that we didn't have a whole lot of those things happen. We hit all week long. You see some guys that end up getting some career injuries, the Stingley and, some of the guys like that. But, it in the game, that's just the way that we played. We were it was a different mindset, a different physicality at that time. Once we came back from having a day off, the coaches were like, hey, tear up the peace treaties. We going out to work, today. That's basically what it was. There's no peace treaties in practice. There was no, there was no bus of grape days. We had to go out and get ready and get acclimated on getting hit and playing 60 minutes of football, and everybody was going to contribute. So, in this day and age of the equipment changes and all the different rules and how you can practice and all that sort of stuff, these guys should be able to turn it loose because they're not worn out throughout the week. We work, believe me. And I'm not going to, it's no disrespect to the guys. That's just the way that the game has, evolved. And what owners and general managers have felt like they needed to do to keep the players around. But there's something to be said about practicing like you're going to play. We didn't take each other down to the ground, but there was always going to be a good shot when you're running the ball, catching the ball in practice, and you would hear the defensive backs, linebackers, or everybody else. When you get a good tag in practice, hey, you better get used to it. It's going to be that way on Sunday. And that's just the way that we practice. So, I remember, the days of a little bit of Glanville when I was in Atlanta. Glanville, the practices were brutally physical. Here I was a number one draft pick, and they would send guys, safeties and linebackers after me, to try to say, hey, we're going to see what number one is, what he's all about. Can he take it? Can he take the pressure? Can he take the hits? Is he ready to, a guy who's going to be able to go out there that we can trust to say, he's going to carry the ball, 25 plus times, and we know that he's going to give us a good output on that day. So practices were very, very physical. And nowadays it is nowhere near like that. I even, kind of a couple of times, entertained coming back. Watching practice, I'm like, hey, I can do this for another couple of years. But no, it's just a different game now. And we as old heads, that's just our mindset and how we looked at it and how we view the game now as these guys go on.
Right.
Hank, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, yeah, they are. I mean, you want to say it, you just won't. They're a bunch of punk sissies nowadays. I'm telling you.
They're soft. I don't care what all this divaism and all this sort of stuff, man. Some of these guys are soft.
They popped up.
You capitalize the T.
Yeah, that's it.
They popped up. Hard on the outside, soft in the middle.
Yeah,
it's
a different game. It's a different game now.
I need to point out, you were an old head when you came to the Washington Redskins for your position. So were you getting a little bit frustrated that you might not get the ring because you retired at 30 years old, correct?
Yeah, 30, 31, yeah, right around there.
So were you getting like a little bit frustrated, like, it's not going to happen sort of thing? I'm not even going to make an appearance.
Yeah, it was. When I was in Atlanta, I was happy in Atlanta, and I was almost kind of at the point to where I was, hey, I enjoy playing here. I love playing in Atlanta. I didn't see us making the right changes or additions or whatever we needed to make to get to the next level, and it was pretty much, that's I wanted to just finish my career there, whether it was a Super Bowl, chance or not. But not knowing that some things went into working, during my last couple of years there, gave me an opportunity to go to a contender, and going to a contender was a breath of fresh air. A lot of guys get that opportunity late in their careers where some of the coaches or GMs may see that, hey, this is the kind of guy that we need to have to complete what we're trying to do. And I fortunately was that guy for Washington.
Yeah, and you guys were the ones that put number 2 notch on number 4 Jim Kelly's belt.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
There you go.
Sorry, Jim's a great guy. A lot of guys on that team I have gotten to meet over the years and personal friends, but it's always good to still kind of take a little jab at them and say, well, hey, we you didn't get it against us, so we're good.
Absolutely. Look, so you got the phone call from Arthur Blank in 2012, going for 2013. You were going to be inducted into the Falcons Ring of Honor.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever anyone goes into the bins, I mean, I don't care who it is, you're actually one of the first players that they see on all the posts all over. They have every player, Warwick Dunn, all of those great names, but you're one of the first ones that's there. And I'm a good friends with Wes Durham, and he mentioned him.
Yes.
And I remember when Billy Whiteshoes was there, he would talk about you religiously. And what does that mean to you to know that you were forever cemented in Atlanta Falcons history?
Well, it just lets me know that I did something that was of note to people and the fans. The fans appreciated my effort. I wasn't a guy that did a lot of talking or whatnot, or was had to have all the attention on me or whatnot. I believed in team ball. I believe in going out and doing what if a running back's supposed to be out there and the coach is going to call upon him to carry the ball 40 times, then I'm going to carry the ball 40 times. And if that, if it resulted in a win, that's even better. But having to play under Frank Cush at Arizona State, that was he stressed that all the time. You're going to be on the field. You in between those lines. You better be giving the best effort that you can every single play. You better go out there and represent your team, represent the guys that you play with. On offense, you're on defense. You better go out there and play up to the potential that got you to this level, and that's what I believed in. So to hear guys speak of me and talk of me in that fashion it's hey, what can I say? I'm just thankful that again I was able to stay healthy long enough and give those guys something to talk about.
Absolutely, Matt. Go ahead.
All right, Gerald. Now we as fans, we never get to live this like you guys do. So whenever we have somebody on that has been through this situation I'm about to say, I always ask them, you know, what was going through their head or what was that day like? Draft day. Kind of give us a look into your whole day, if you remember it. Now, I know you say it's been a while, but you know, hey, you know, if you remember it, man, how did draft day go for you, man? From the time you woke up to the time your name was called. Can you just give us a little bit of insight on that?
Oh my gosh, you're taking me way back. You know what? And I had to say this. Are they still around? Ping pong machines or what are the
ping pong tables?
Ping
pong games?
Those things still around or whatnot?
Ataris.
Yeah, Ataris and all that sort of shit. Not
pinball machines.
About the pinball machines and all
pinball
that.
Machines,
pinball machines. Yes, pinball machines. They're still really
around or not.
Yeah,
But
they're around. You just got to pay 50 cents.
Yeah,
They're worth a lot of money.
I bet they are. But my day, I vividly remember this day as one in which I didn't know what to expect. I was a fullback coming out in a year where tailbacks were pretty much the big Marcus Allen, Butch Woolfolk, Joe Morris, Barry Redding, Wayne Crutchfield. These were some names that were thrown around a whole lot as far as the draft were concerned. So me being a fullback, I did look at the history of it. There's not many fullbacks that would have been top draft picks and as a running back is concerned. So I didn't really know what to expect. And I went to my local little watering hole that morning and was playing pinball. And the draft was nowhere near like it is today. We didn't have all the fanfare. They wouldn't have all the all the things that are going on around the draft now. Guys coming to one place, and if they factor in to be one of the top players picked or whatnot, and so I didn't know what to expect. I was just happy to have hey, all right, I'm in that position now to where I'm going to get an opportunity, hopefully. Speaking with the running backs coach at the time in college and talking a little bit of Frank Cush at the time, had not finished with him, but he was still a guy that I could talk to, and he was he told me that I was going to get a chance, and that again he had always watched me after he was only there for 2 years, my first 2 years. And then we were under Gerald Rogers for the last 2 years. So he'd always told me, he was proud of me, and I'm going to get an opportunity, but we'll see what happens. And my agent at the time, was telling me that, hey, well, you looks like you might be, third or fourth round or whatnot. But I did not realize that my performance at the first of the combines, we had the first combines that the NFL had back in 81 or whatever it was, 82. So that was pretty much the first real big combine. And I performed extremely well at that point in time. And so I'm on the pinball machine at, again, like I say, one of these little places like you guys were advertising, with the where the Mexican food and the margaritas and all that sort of stuff. So I'm playing on the pinball machine, and they're calling, they're talking to the draft board and all that sort of stuff. And the guy behind the bar, who I knew, the bartender, started screaming out my name, just calling me Gerald. He's like, you've been drafted, or whatever. And I'm like dumbfounded, like, wait a minute, man, I got a quarter in here, this thing. I'm trying to finish up over on the pinball machine, but I, hurried over to the table to see that I was the 9th player picked in the first round. Totally caught me up. I didn't know what to do. I felt like I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off or whatever, and went back. We didn't have cell phones or anything like that, so I had to run back to my apartment. And sure enough, and my agent was calling the phone and was trying to get in touch with me. And then I finally, it all kind of set in that the guys from the Falcons were going to call me that evening, and I spoke to Eddie LeBaron and Tom Bratz from the Falcons, and they were telling me they were, just overjoyed to get me, and we feel like you're going to do some good things here, and we look forward to having you here and all that. And you hang the phone up and you go, yes, yes, I'm going to Atlanta and stuff, And so that's kind of how that whole day went. It was fast. It came and it went. And next thing you know, I was on a plane headed to Atlanta that evening.
Wow. Dustin, you have a question. Go ahead.
So obviously a lot of change has been taking place in the Falcons organization, and not many fans are happy about it. We saw one of the greatest quarterbacks be released. We saw two of the best wideouts ever to end their time in Atlanta as well. Last year, we saw a future Hall of Fame quarterback hide a significant injury, which most likely helped end the Falcons season in their playoff chances. Going into 2025, what changes do you think they need to take place to help Atlanta finally make a hurdle or finally make a jump and possibly make a big Super Bowl run?
Ooh, it's always difficult to try to pinpoint what teams actually really need and what they need to do, because there's so many different parts to it that you try to shore up, make sure that it's solid, make sure we're doing the right things here, the right players here. There's much to be said these days about guys or how they interact in the clubhouse. I'm thinking if the guy can play football, to hell with all that. Let's get guys who can play football. I don't care about some of his his off the field exposés, whatever. Let's find a guy who can play football and do what you need him to do. So it's hard to really pinpoint what they really need to do. I think the move with Penix is going to be kind of catamount to what I think they are trying to accomplish. I think he's a guy that can keep him healthy. I think he can really do some good things for him. He seems to be, to me, a guy who has it down as far as being able to go out there and manage a game, make the right passes, do the right thing in plays that it's oftentimes coaches kind of put you in difficult situations based on what they're calling. But can he get himself out of those things? The running game is something that it's an exciting thing for the offense, and I like to be able to see that these guys get it together and be consistent in the running game and play a little bit more. Sometimes a little bit more when the chips are on the table. Let's control the ball. Let's make sure that we can run the ball and do that. It's not about always passing. I think it's too much is put on the passing game these days. And sometimes it's either feast or famine with that. You either live or die with the passing game.
Mm-hmm.
But ball control is something that I think they really need to do. On the defensive side, man, they've got to get somebody to, having Grady Jarrett there in the middle is great, but you got to get some guys to put pressure on the outside. They have got to get some guys who can get some sacks and make some things happen on defense, put pressure on quarterbacks because guys are staying back there too long. And as a result of that, the defense is on the field too long. I think it's great to say that you have some defensive backs that you feel like you've signed for long term and they're good, but they're only as good as those guys up front because they're putting pressure on the quarterback. Those guys' jobs get a lot easier. You get a lot more turnovers, and it's a lot more things that can happen from a defensive standpoint. So I think they've got a lot of things that they need to look at right now. Can they, find guys, whether it's through free agency or the draft, that's going to come in and shore up those key areas that they have? Because on both sides of the balls, we have some glaring issues. The offensive line. Those are guys that that's the cornerstone of your offense. I don't care what kind of quarterback you have. You got to have a good offensive line. Big Matthews is a little long in the tooth. I don't know if he's going to be there still. If he's going to be there, the center got issues there. But they've got to get somebody to make sure they protect this young guy. And if he's able to do that, he's able to to come along like a Mahomes did in Kansas City. I hate to even mention his name, but his offensive line is his key. That's as long as they keep him upright and healthy. It was the same way with Brady when he was in the arena. Those guys weren't necessarily household names, but they were the guys that they understood what kind of quarterback they had, on that offense and how they had to protect him. And I hope that the Falcons can get that together with that to protect Penix because I think he can do some things for them. So, GM and the coach, they've
we have our thoughts on them, by the way.
I hope they pull it together and get some things going. But it's hard to do it in 1 year. It's hard to do it in just one draft. It's hard to do it with free agency. It's hard to do it in a lot of different ways. But football minds, and as long as they continue to have guys who understand football, I think they'll get back there. I'm thinking that probably in the next 4 years, if they make the right moves and keep the right guys and keep most people healthy, they can be back there within 4 years.
Matt, go ahead.
4 years is a long time, but it's not a long time.
Do we fans have that patience?
It'll come back fast, believe me. You think it's a long ways away, but again, if they're doing the right things, they can do it.
Yeah. So I know besides the Super Bowl and being drafted, are there any other moments during your career that kind of stand out?
I mean, just being as a rookie, getting on the team and then scoring your first touchdown.
Okay.
That's one of the highlight moments that you always. And I never was against Philadelphia. That was one of the always one of the moments that I'll cherish the most. I hate that I didn't get that football, but that was one of the greatest things that always stand out in my career is getting that first touchdown in the league, and then getting a chance to beat one of our most hated rivals one time. Never forget we won a big game against San Francisco one year in Atlanta. It was the first time that they actually had me and William Andrews on the field at the same time. And we were trying to go to a two-back system at the time, and unfortunately William got hurt. But William was blocking for me as a fullback, and I was, of course, the tailback. It was a short yardage play out on the field. And William made a kick-out block, and I went off of him. It was nobody to. I mean, I wasn't going to let wild dogs or horses, anybody drag me down. It kind of put the league on notice that what, these guys have something special, and if you guys are going to stop those two guys, you better beef it up. But it never really materialized, and that's the one thing that I think about often is if me and William could have been on the field at the same time.
All right, Hank, go ahead.
All right, so I got a question.
Yeah.
Now, you were with the Washington Redskins for 2 seasons, right? So you were in that what?
3 seasons, basically.
3 seasons. Yeah. Okay, so you're in a pretty legendary division at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If LT's the answer, then I'm cool with that. But who is a guy that you would run by and you would get away and be like, oh, thank God he didn't tackle me?
Ooh.
Like, I mean, who really kind of like gave you the spooks before you even like you were like, I hope he doesn't get his hands on me. And then you got away and you were like, thank God. Good God.
It wasn't LT. And LT and I are great friends, and we had a lot of moments that we went against each other and would laugh about a whole bunch of stuff. But they're probably the one guy who you never wanted to run into. Certainly, if you didn't get out the backfield, you better get out the backfield quick before he came. Was Reggie White.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say
good
that.
One.
It's because he would mess up the whole doggone play.
No, you're not the first. I've been in radio I was in radio for 20 years, and I've interviewed. I interviewed from Memphis, Theismann. And I'm telling you, he said the same thing.
Yeah.
He said the same thing, man. If he got your hands on you, you could not break that.
You weren't going nowhere. I'm telling you that right now. Once he got his clutches on you, you're pretty much done. But LT was great. But don't get me wrong, and I have the utmost respect for him as a player. But Reggie was a guy who was just totally he would just mess up everything. Although when I was in Washington, the guy who gave Joe Gibbs the most problems though was LT, no doubt about it.
All right, Shane, you're next, buddy.
All right, man. We've seen kind of the resurrection of the running back in the NFL here lately with Saquon and Derrick Henry, what they were able to do this past season. We've seen kind of the transition, kind of from that kind of pass catching back that we saw the past couple of years with Christian McCaffrey and all. And now it's kind of going into some, real contenders are runners of the ball now. Do you enjoy seeing that back, kind of in the NFL? And, with that being said, they're going to have to get back on the practices like you were talking about.
Well, I tell you what, I have thoroughly enjoyed watching what Derrick Henry has done. Certainly, the little guy up there, can't call him little guy, but certainly, what Saquon has been able to do. They've kind of brought back the need for what it's like to have a running game. So many guys now are just so, the passing game is, everybody feels like they got to go out there and make their mark being a great passing coach or great passing, play caller. And they kind of left out what it means to be able to have that ball control guy, that bell cow guy that you're going to go out there and, 25 carries or, whatever, going to get 200 yards or whatever. Those things they kill defenses. I mean, they put defenses, away when and it's demoralizing when, you go out there and you're running the ball like that. Guys on the defense don't like to play against that. So to have that type of a weapon again and to see it, emerge now, coming back to be, hey, there's a couple of backs in the league that nobody wants to play against. Certainly, Derrick Henry when he's going full tilt. That's a business decision, brother. Believe me, to take on that joker, that's something else. And Saquon, what he's been able to do with the Philly offensive line, that seems to that's their MO. They want to run the ball. I love to see it. I wish more teams would adapt it and go back to it, because it's there was one time I remember when the so-called West Coast offense came in the league. That was the big thing and the big ticket, and everybody had to have a coach that can coach the West Coast offense, and throw the ball and have 4 receivers out and all this sort of stuff. And then you had to go out and try to find a quarterback who can do it all. Well, the quarterback's job is a lot easier when he can turn around and hand it off, and they make things happen in the running game. It's always been that way, but for some reason they've gotten away. They got away from it, but it's kind of come back a little bit here, and I hope it continues.
So, I got to chime in real quick on this one. My 2 favorite seasons, Gerald, for the Falcons, no brainer, is 1998. I mean, I can still remember to this day. I guarantee you, Matt would probably say he could hear me, Gerald, when Morton kicked that field goal. The field goal heard around the league. Yeah. When he kicked that field goal and sent us to the Super Bowl against Denver, I didn't care. We were playing John Elway. We just went and we just knocked off literally the team that was supposed to be the team to win it all. Right. The 15-1 Randall Cunningham led Minnesota Vikings. That was my absolute favorite. And then of course 2016. We were think about how close we were, and Matt will tell you, and you probably know this too. The most hated day is coming up actually in Atlanta sports history is March 28th. And the reason why is it's 28-3, that stupid 28-3 stuff. It's that will resonate for us until we finally get over that hurdle and win the Covenant Lombardi Trophy. And you said Penix can do really great things for us. Matt and I will both say the same thing. We agree 100% that Penix is the real deal. Obviously we hate that we saw what happened with Kirk. I think honestly, both Coach Morris and Terry Fontenot, I think they knew honestly that Kirk got hurt in the Saints game, and they were not disclosing the injury as they should have. But that's neither here nor there. Obviously, that could be hearsay. But I think Penix is the quarterback, the right decision for quarterback. Now the question obviously is what's going to happen and transpire with the defense. This lackluster defense that we've had since 2017. It's grown old on all of us fans. There's so many fans that call the Atlanta Falcons the cardiac birds because they cause you heart problems, heart palpitations, and it's true. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've come so close to throwing things at my TV because of the stupid decisions that have been made on defense. But I agree. I think now the question that I had, that you just said about give it 4 years. Does the Falcons fans have the patience to wait that up to 4 years? Because Falcons fans are the most impatient, patiently waiting people because they want it right here now. And Blank's not getting any older. I mean, any younger. He's getting older. He's in the win now mode. I hope that within the next 4 years we can say Atlanta Falcons are your Super Bowl champions. And I know you're going to be like the rest of us, standing there the moment the clock hits 0. What would be even better though is because we host Super Bowl 62. What would be even fantastic is if Atlanta were to hoist the Lombardi Trophy in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. That would be the epitome of all.
Yeah, that would be.
Gerald, I gotta say, we've had an absolute. I know. I don't want to run too long, but I had so much fun having you on. I am beyond honored. We all are beyond honored to have someone of your status take time out of your evening, come and talk and be a part of the show. I hope that you and I, Matt, Hank, Shane, and even Dustin, we will all stay in, regular checkups to see how you're doing, and hopefully we have you on again because we had a blast, sir.
Oh, well, it's my pleasure, guys, and I'm sure whenever you guys want to do it again, I'm here, I'm around. Like I say, it's always a pleasure that people still remember. Even I live here. I live in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and it's always pretty neat when you can go other places and people still recognize you and realize what you were able to do and make new friends, get a chance to talk about the old birds and all of that. So
yes,
but we'll do it again some other time, guys. I really appreciate you having me on.
Thank you. And I got to quickly chime in. You said old school football. I was going to say, do you remember doing Oklahoma? That was the drill I both loved and hated.
Yeah, it's and everybody's kind of outlawed it now, but that's real football. You want to find
absolutely.
You want to find out what you got. Put them on an Oklahoma drill.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
They need to bring it back.
So
they need to put that in the combine or something. All right.
Absolutely. So I went to Roswell High School, and I had to go against a guy named Cedric Cook. This dude was a beast, and I always had to go against him.
I knew Cedric. Yes.
You did? Oh, see, yeah. I used to have to go against him. I hate it because he hurt because he hit your knees. He didn't hit it like in your chest. No, well, I'm also 6'5", so I was really tall. I'm a defensive end, so I always had to go against him. He's a little guy. And he was a little guy. Yeah, needed that, but I had so much fun. That was, like I said, the drill I both loved and I both hated just because of the knee issue. But I loved getting to play. And that, you're right. That shows defines real men. From
you find out what you're made of. Yeah.
Right. Well, Gerald, please, extend. We actually absolutely appreciate. Please, we hope to hear from you again soon. And as we always say, I always say, peace up, A-Town down. It's the best city there ever was.
All right, you got it.
So, Gerald, take care of yourself. Right. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks, guys. You guys have a good one.
Jared.
All right, take care,
bud.
Oh my God, guys! What a fantastic! How cool is that? Like, I mean, I got to ask you guys. Like, an NFL, he's a Ring of Honor in the Atlanta Falcons. He is forever immortalized in Atlanta Falcons history, and he's gotten to do something that not many athletes will ever get to say they did. Is they won the ever coveted championship ring. He got to hoist the Lombardi Trophy. Like that is a like a amazing feat. So Matt, I played with Jermaine Phillips. He got drafted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he had he was gifted getting to play right away because the starting safety went down. And what does Jermaine do? He goes and wins Super Bowl his first year with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, plays 3 or 4 more years, and then hangs up. He actually is doing real estate now. Great guy. I love talking with Jermaine. And then also, I bet you guys didn't know this. So when the New Orleans Saints played in the Super Bowl against the Colts, okay, there was a guy who recovered an onside kick. Do you remember his name by chance, Matt?
I remember the guy that onside kick got kicked on. That was Hank Bissett. I don't remember who the
Christopher. His name was Christopher Reese. Chris Reese. Why is he familiar? He played at Georgia Tech. Why does it also matter? He lined up on the other side of me, and that was actually his first time stepping on the field the entire season for the New Orleans Saints. He recovered the game-winning onside kick, won the Super Bowl, and guess what he did after the Super Bowl? He got on his horse and rode out to the sunset. Never saw it. Never came back again.
Just to reiterate, that happened the first play after halftime.
That he got the game winner.
So that did change the game.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool that 2 players that I know got to hoist the Lombardi and Gerald getting to do it. Oh man, guys, we want to know what your thoughts are. Obviously, we have a great turnout today, but we want to know what you guys' thoughts are on the Covenant Lombardi Trophy, and if the Falcons have a chance to hoist that trophy in the next 4 years, as Gerald said. Let us know in the comments. You can message us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch. You can even message Matt. You can message Hank, message Shane. You can even message this gentleman right here, Dustin. He doesn't bite. I promise you, Dustin does not bite. You can message him.
Bite.
He may be in Texas, but secretly, guys, he's a dirty bird fan. He likes the Atlanta Falcons. So just gotta say that. All right, guys. So Matt, we had a really unusual, thinking I'm a macho moment to Stephen A. Smith and LeBron James. Would you please? I would love to hear you. I want you to first off let everybody know what it was, and start us off with about it. I want everybody to know what really transpired, because Stephen A. came out and did tell everybody this morning what LeBron said. Why don't you let the fans know what it was?
Well, yeah. First off, man, just to give a little back history on it. Look, Bronny James is an NBA player, and one thing that Stephen A. Smith is known for is his bluntness, when he talks about players, and he assesses fairly. I've never known him as one person to show favoritism over anybody. So to him, Bronny James is just another player, but. In the past, I think Bronny James played a career high 15 minutes against the Philadelphia 76ers, and he had a really pedestrian stat line, if you want to call it pedestrian. And Stephen A. Smith, I don't want to say he got personal, but, he on live TV, he's telling LeBron to stop this on live TV. I mean, okay. So, during the game yesterday, we had the Lakers versus the Knicks, which the Lakers came back and won, and it was a very good game. Hope Jalen Brunson is okay with his ankle. But I think during one of the timeouts, LeBron went and confronted Stephen A. Smith, who was sitting right close to the Lakers bench, and told him to keep his son's name, just keep his son's name out of his mouth, or, just.
He didn't slap him like Will Smith would.
Will Smith
did not. But he said, don't talk about his son. Keep his son's name out of his mouth. So when you see that, the father in me, I can agree to that. The father in me, you're looking out for your son, but at the same time, as the athlete, LeBron James is a grown man. He's an athlete in the league. He gets criticism just like everybody else. So, hey man, it really just depends on what side of the defense you're on. To me,
I would love to chime on this. Can I chime on this, Matt?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would agree with Stephen A. Smith on this one. But yeah, go ahead.
So look, God forbid if I go to a Hawks game and they're playing the Lakers and LeBron shows up and he knows who I am, because I only tag him in every short we have with regards to Bronny James. And I know he's seen the videos. What do you think LeBron James is going to say to me when he sees me and says, "You keep your son's name out of my son's name out of your mouth," or whatever? Bronny James, and it's a bleep show. That's literally all it is. We've heard Abe Gordon. Abe has said Bronny is a solid player. No, I've had so many people tell me that is absolutely false. Matt had we had another viral moment actually go recently. It was social media parted, the heavens parted, ESPN broke news that Bronny James scored his first points, and everybody said the world was right because Bronny James got his first basket. Now, again, a bleep show. Well, Matt, what did I say Bronny James is going to be good at? Sitting on
the end of the bench.
That's right. He's sitting on his backside. He'll be he'll be a bench warmer. No, I don't care if he's a rookie. He is not an NBA dude. If he is an NBA caliber player, then by God, my daughter.
I will say he is. You got people on the end of all these benches, man, and all these teams, that get sent up and down to the G League. Bronny James is having a great year in the G League. I don't know what you're missing. He's
glorified. The G League is called a glorified college league.
But look, it was the same thing. Remember this though. Remember this with Lou Williams. Lou Williams first came into the league. He averaged 0.7 points per game. He went down to the D League at the time, came back up for a few years. Amani Bates is going through this right now. He's going up and down through the G League. He'll end up being a rotational piece for the Cavs in a year or two.
Bronny James is never going to be your saving grace of a team.
Nobody said that.
Everybody's deeming him as that because LeBron James' son.
He will be a solid bench
warmer. He is not going to be solid.
I'm not going to say.
Do not say he is.
He is going to be a solid NBA player. Solid. I'm not saying all-star like.
He'll be a solid. Fat? Like he's gonna be a fat guy. Yeah,
he'll be a solid 8-9 point per game kid, man. At the lower down, I see that.
Hey, I got one thing for you. He already plays better defense than his dad does.
Well, look, LeBron does take nights off on defense, but granted, he's 40. He's been playing defense since he was 17, 18 years old. I mean, hey, come on now.
Just remember this. Also, by the way, folks. Okay. Bronny James only scored 5 points per game. He averaged less than a rebound a game and less than an assist. Yeah, that's NBA caliber right there. My gosh. Go ahead and crown him first ballot Hall of Famer right now.
You know what, Brandon? You know what? I hope, and mark this day. What's the date? Somebody
Today is March 7th, 2025.
March 7th, 2005. 5 years from now, I'm going to pull this up when Bronny James is balling in the league, man.
Yeah, he's going to be scoring 2 points a game. No, he scores 2 points. Now he's going to be scoring 4 points. He's balling right there. Watch out.
Hey, look, man.
4 points. Woo! Yes, solid player. Solid.
He will be a solid player. He's a rookie now. He's learning and adjusting to the league. No. He will be a solid player, man.
With the crickets. Oh, no. So, look, guys, we can have this debate all the time about LeBron James and Bronny James, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But let's be real. Dustin, I'm going to throw it to you. Let's be real. It's a bleep show. You have to agree. It's a bleep show, right?
So, first I want to say that I don't disagree. Stephen A. Smith is like I'm the same way. I'm going to tell you how it is. I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, that's just how I am as well. The one thing I didn't agree with how LeBron did it, first of all, let Bronny do it. Okay, kind of like what Matt was saying. Let Bronny do it. He's a man. He's in this league. He got drafted. So let him do it. But if LeBron feels like that his place to do it, that wasn't the place to do it.
Exactly. That was all just a show.
It wasn't. I mean, I agree with that. Like, I'm not mad he did it. I just think when he did it, he should have done it, maybe after the game. They have each other's number. Do it the right way. But I know, I'm sorry, in a way, I sort of kind of agree with Matt. I think he has a future.
Wait, Hank, do you have a toilet bowl sound?
I do agree a little bit. Like,
I know.
I think what the problem is with Bronny is obviously we know why he got drafted. Like, yes, his dad had a part in it. The stats didn't match him getting drafted at all. I mean, he had players on his collegiate team that had better stats and didn't even get drafted, right? But I think there's some upside to him. Now, is it going to take time? Yes, but when you hear Bronny James, you hear that last name James, you're going to compare him always to his dad. That's just always going to be the comparison. I think in the future he can be a solid role player. He's not going to be a superstar, nothing like that, but it's going to take some time because the league is different. But he can play some defense. His shooting isn't there, but you got to give him props. there's not a lot of people that can go ball out in the G League, and that's the truth. I mean, it's fair. Like
glorified college league.
They go to overseas and play. They do. That's
Why
what they
isn't
do.
everybody doing it?
So
Everybody is doing it. Did you not hear like that Cooper? Not the Cooper, like, but the one kid who he plays in the I think
one
it's the
kid.
Italian league, whatever, right?
One kid.
He plays in the Italian league, and he said, "Well," and he's like 16. He's like, "I know how to get to the NBA. I'm gonna play through the G League." Blah, blah, blah. It's a glorified college league. That's what it's turned into. And
For
I don't care what you guys. This is a bleep show, huh?
For international players, yes, it is a glorified college route because they don't have to go and do the classes if they want to go and be a professional. Because at 16, a lot of foreign guys are going into trade schools and stuff like that. And almost pre-university type.
I'll say this
at that time. So hey,
I think this is a
and if you
comparison.
hold on, and if you think that the NIL or whatever, what do they call it? The
NIL
like this.
Yeah. If you don't the paid thing, I'm having I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. I need something.
It's NIL. It's NIL.
NIL. Thank you. If you don't think that that's going to absolutely put a damper on the and make it that much more, then you're crazy. I mean, it's just
what were you saying?
It truly is
saying,
a show.
Like,
amen. Thank you.
Whenever I have this comparison, not like players, but look at Scoot Henderson from Portland. He was this phenomenal G League player. He comes to the NBA, and to be honest, he hasn't really done much. Bronny has done just as much as him, realistically. I'm just being real. Like, he was a star in the G League, and he's came to the NBA, and he's like, Bronny's played well in the G League, but he's in the NBA. So what's the difference between him and Scoot? There's not much difference to me, personally.
Scoot was the second pick in the draft, and Bronny was the 55th.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Again, Hank, I need you to get a toilet bowl sound effect and use it for every time we hear Bronny James's name mentioned, because he's and then again, it's the bleep show with the Bronny James nonsense. That's all it is. That's how I will say it. Matt, you've heard it so many times. I tell you, it's a bleep show. That's literally what it is.
I mean, the realest part about it is true why he got drafted, but
Bryce is going to be a better player.
No,
I
completely agree with that. Bryce is going to be great in college, and I think he'll play great. He will play hopefully situational wise.
Where is Bryce going? I know they announced where he was going, but where was it? I can't remember.
Arizona. He's going to Arizona.
Arizona.
That's a good school to go to. Yes, USC is a good school for Bronny James. Now look, had Bronny James stayed. Heck, and look, everybody knows I've gone through a cardiac mishap myself. I had a widowmaker heart attack. Right. All right. So look, I understand that plays a role in everything. I absolutely understand. Had Bronny James stayed at least and past his sophomore year, just to see what could have transpired with him going into his sophomore year in college, then we could have had maybe we could this debate would be completely different. I mean, I guarantee it would absolutely be even more different if he had stayed past his junior year, or heck, even his senior year. If Bronny James had played the entire time, we would not be having this debate right now. We would not be. You would not be seeing LeBron James acting like a macho man coming up to Stephen. Look, and I will tell you guys, and you all know this, I can't stand Stephen A. Smith. I think Stephen A. Smith, which we have I'm going to show something about him in just a minute. Stephen A. Smith thinks the earth revolves around him, not anything else. Like everybody, it's Stephen A. Smith is God, and everybody has to revolve around what he says. No, he's an idiot, is what he is. He's just a glorified idiot who has this attitude about it, and it's okay to have attitudes when you talk in sports. Matt, don't even.
Well, he's an idiot.
He's got some irrational thoughts that everybody thinks but doesn't want to say.
Yeah, but also then he just signed a 5-year, $100 million deal.
I was just about to say that. So I actually, all right, look.
I'll be in the deal too for 5 years, $100 million.
I did. This is what he's talking about. Stephen A. Smith has agreed to a 5-year, $100 million plus contract, which minimum, folks, is $20 million a year, but has incentives and appearances and whatnot. He could make roughly $38.5 million a year. That's per The Athletic. That and ESPN, all them, $38 million to hear this man do this. That's insane. Scott Van Pelt doesn't even make that much, guys.
Hey, Brandon,
Scott Van Pelt has been Chris Boomer. Boomer does not even. He makes $8.5 million a year, and
look,
Boomer
Brandon.
doesn't. But come on, like 5 times a year. Stephen A. Smith. Look, it's okay. No, because Stephen A. Smith is this.
You have to hear this. You have to hear this, Brandon. You have to hear this. I just got a text message from Mr. Brian Kajiyama, who was able to grace our show last season, and he told me go ahead and throw the flag at Brandon. So with that being said, Brandon.
Oh, whatever, Brian. Come on, man. I thought we was boys.
All right. Go ahead, Brandon. I didn't mean to interject. Go ahead, Brandon. Go ahead. Finish up.
I'm gonna text Brian right now. Brian, no, but look, again, Stephen A. Smith, he thinks he's God, but whatever. But I'm gonna go back to what I said. All right, so let's say Brian James only averaged 5 points his entire collegiate career. Average. That's pretty low. That's not NBA caliber. You have to agree. That's not NBA caliber.
Due to the situation, though, you gotta look at the situation.
Now look, if he had gone to his sophomore year. And he's now had a year under his belt to heal from the heart issue. Okay. So let's just say 15 points a game. Okay. The argument is hush. He goes to his junior year. Okay. He's averaging 29 points a game. USC is 29-2, and they're going to the Final Four. Okay. The entire sports world can just be quiet right now, because then that shows that Bronny James is better, but he's not. He's not going to be, and Abe Gordon even said he's not going to be a 3-and-D kind of guy. He's not. I'm calling it right now. And Matt, stamp market, March 7th, 2025. When we look back, heck, even in 2030, you're going to sit there and say, what was Bronny James' crowning achieving moment? And that was he got drafted. That's it. That is all it's going to be. Because he is not I can tell you, JJ is not gonna continue to play him just because your daddy is on my team, because that ship is gonna sail soon. LeBron James is on the very back end of his career. He's playing good right now because he has Luka Doncic on the other side of him. Yes, it's getting better.
Luka bought him 3 more years. I will say that.
You know what? He may have bought him 3 more years, but it's not going to be the last year or 2 will not be quality.
No, I agree.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, as a 40-year-old, he's giving you 27, 7-7 as a 40-year-old.
You know what? I'll eat crow. I think crow's delicious because I'm a LeBron James fan, but it's just, what is the day that we're going to look and say, it's time for him to retire?
Enough is enough.
When he's 50. No,
because then the people say, 50. Because he had this miraculous game when he's 50 years old. He scored 30 points. Then he's the savior.
But see, you guys got to understand about LeBron's game. His game has always been cerebral. It's always been cerebral. He was just an athletic marvel. LeBron James, I don't know, man. He can play any position on the court. I can see him chilling at the power forward position for the next 3 years and and still averaging 27 and 7.
Yeah. He can't play the 5, but
what about 60-year-old Michael Jordan, who just celebrated his 62nd birthday?
I
still believe Jordan can average 20 and 10.
I don't know about that.
Not now. First of all,
hold on.
Hey, can you throw him a yes, please? Yes,
hold on.
Out of here, man.
No, Brandon, I gotta disagree with that one. Hold on. I'm just saying. Okay, if he would stop smoking, if he was
the beautiful mind,
he's 60, man.
If he would, if it was
Michael Jordan on us 5, he'd still beat us.
No, hold on.
If he golf course with a handicap.
Now wait a second. If his eyes,
he ain't beating me at 60. He ain't beating me at 60.
Okay. His eyes look like a
60.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Have you seen his eyeballs? They look like a Crown Apple and Coke. Okay,
that's the disease that he has, man.
Yeah. Okay, I got news for you. If he would stay away from the Lucky Charms and the cigars, then maybe he can get you 20 points. But it'd be a cold day, I wish I had a funny quote here, but I'm just saying, you get it. I mean, it'd be a cold day in July, before you see Michael Jordan scoring 20 points at 62 years old when he smokes like 6 cigars a day that are the size of Georgia. You know, it's like, come on.
All right, so I got to throw this in, and we'll go to the next topic. Okay. I want you guys to all remember this. This is like breaking news. Okay. 6-0. I'm not saying anything else. That's all I gotta say. 6-0.
Nobody's arguing.
That's all I need, Sean.
Yeah, because
I mean, it's easy to get. It's easy to get 6-0. It's easy to get 6-0.
Stephen A. Smith talk about that 6-0.
It's easy to get 6-0 when you don't got to play against Steph Curry's and Kevin Durant's and you know those type of players, man. You know, when the hardest player on the other team is a 6'8", 260-pound Karl Malone who gets about this high off of the ground. You know, hey man, look.
LeBron couldn't have gotten past the Detroit Pistons. And
I don't know about that. I'm not gonna say that. LeBron is bigger than anybody on that Pistons team. He was bigger than anybody on that Pistons team. LeBron,
you put LeBron against
Rick Mahorn would have given him a coma, and he would.
LeBron was bigger. LeBron is about 2 times bigger than Rick Mahorn.
he would have flopped before even the Mahorn got to him.
I don't know, man.
I have a feeling Vlade Divac could handle LeBron better.
You guys, all these blasphemous statements is just killing me right now, man.
LeBron.
All I want to say is I'm right there with you, Matt. He is my number one.
He's my number 2.
Behind Jordan. You guys got to look. In 10, 15, 20 years from now, there's going to be another player that's going to be more athletic than him. Guys, it's evolution. It's evolution. It's going to happen.
If you watch the documentary The Last Dance and did not understand why LeBron James is not better than Jordan, then I don't know what to tell you.
BS.
I really don't.
No. I understand the skill. Now, I never said LeBron was better. I didn't say that. I didn't say from a technical standpoint. No, I give it to Michael Jordan all day from a technical standpoint, especially on offense. I get that to Michael Jordan all day. One-on-one defense, I get that to Michael Jordan all day. Michael Jordan was a better individual player, but as far as the total game in itself, I got to give that to LeBron. LeBron was a more cerebral player. But MJ, it was just go out, let's go get it. LeBron is calling other teams' plays. He's telling other players how to run their own plays. I mean. Hey man,
I got one question. Question.
I don't even. Yeah.
Does Jordan take that Cavaliers team that LeBron had to the finals that year?
My God.
LeBron did that. Does Jordan take them to the finals?
That's absolutely
the
not. Jordan, Bobby Gibson, Sasa Pavlich, JJ Hickson. Oh my gosh.
Now I understand they got swept in the finals, of course, by my San Antonio Spurs. They had no chance.
So that's Spurs.
But I have.
Hey. But Dustin, remember what Tim Duncan told LeBron though at the end of that series. You know, thanks for letting us have it now. You know.
Yeah, because LeBron got him back, but then San Antonio got him back again.
Here we go.
Should have had 3. If it wasn't for Ray Allen,
coulda, shoulda, woulda.
He don't beat the Spurs. Sorry.
No, if it wasn't for Greg Popovich taking Tim Duncan out the game, y'all would have got that rebound. You know, so hey.
Listen, I got a quote for you, okay? And I'm going to quote the great Vince Lombardi. If it fans and butts were candy nuts, we'd all have a merry little Christmas. That's all I got to say. All right, so let's move on. So, look, guys, Dustin, this is actually going to be touted for you, okay? This is actually really exciting news. According to Vegas, the Dallas Stars and the Florida Panthers are the 2 favorites to win Lord Stanley's Cup, literally followed by Boston Bruins. Why? Because they both had the most electrifying up until actually today, it was the Tampa Bay Lightning had the best chances to win the Stanley Cup. Well, now Dallas and Florida Panthers both they stuck their nose in the right place at the right time. They've gotten some solid players, and now the odds are ever in their favor. Look, guys, I'm a hockey fan. Dallas acquired arguably one of the best right-winged players. Goodness. Mikko Rantanen. I didn't even say his last name, but this dude is phenomenal. And I don't know if you guys saw, then literally Dallas got the paper out and he signs an 8-year extension with Dallas. So Dallas is stacked. They got it going. And so listen to this. Before today's transactions, Dallas they were like a plus 700 odds to win Stanley Cup, okay? And then they go out and they do this stuff today, right? They had the highest odds. Literally, it's down to it's plus 500. They had the absolute highest odds, is what it says. They have a favorite sweep to win the Stanley Cup. That's pretty impressive. And the team that absolutely flopped is the Detroit Red Wings. I mean, they racked up on draft capital, but they really hit the bottom end on there. So I'm gonna ask you this, Dustin. Obviously, I know you haven't gone to a Stars game yet. Hockey is a phenomenal cult sport. You have to really understand it. Look, and I've seen people all over say that they can't stand watching it on TV because you can't follow the puck. Well, that is true. However, certain arenas also enhance your ability to see the puck live. If you guys get a chance, watch the Vancouver Canucks during a Stanley Cup playoff game. You can absolutely see. You can even see the players picking their noses. That's how HD it is on that, right? So it's great in Dallas, it's great in Vancouver, great in Tampa Bay, and it's great in Boston. Those are the 4 main arenas that you can see the hockey at all time. It's a great sport to watch. So, knowing this now, Dustin, that Dallas has the absolute highest odds to win the Stanley Cup, and I think Lord Stanley's Cup is the greatest trophy of all out of all professional sports. What is that? What do you think? Why am I at Hank? What do you think is the sentiment on that one, knowing that Dallas could legit hoist a Lord Stanley's Cup?
Well,
as we see, we have some friends behind you dancing or something.
Yes. I mean, obviously it was a great move. They had some struggles there, here in the last, not recently, but they were struggling a little bit. They were winning, losing, and then they've kind of gone on a decent streak. But I'm glad they're favored. I think he definitely puts them right there, but I don't know why. But the Las Vegas Knights still scare me, man. They just do. I think that if they can not have to play them early in the playoffs and kind of get some series over early and maybe play them in the finals before the championship, I think they have a really good shot. But they've got to do that. They've got to finish the year strong. I'm not sure how many games are left in the regular season. It's pretty. I know
20.
It's pretty good. So I mean, if they can come out with 15 of those, they're good. But I mean, I will say this though. I do want to say one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad somebody in Dallas is making moves because the Cowboys.
Come on, Jerry. Let's get
the Cowboys,
here, Jerry.
Because the Cowboys ain't they saved on all this cap space and they've done nothing with it. They're not going to do nothing with it. Jerry just wanted to pocket some more money. He ain't gonna get nobody, and the Mavericks don't know how to make moves. So
they know how to make the fans mad. That's what they know to do.
Well, hey, Dustin, what do you think about the capital that they gave up to get them?
I mean, obviously,
two first rounders.
I mean, when you give up one first rounder, you're hoping it's for like this year. When you give up first round,
it's a win now, right?
It's a win. It's like win this year, not next year, not in the previous. It's now. Hopefully that transpires, and that if they win it, then it's all worth it. Even if they were to make it and lose it, it's still worth it. But if they get beat in the second series, it was a terrible move because there's phenomenal kids. When I say kids, I mean kids that come out. And for you to not only get someone like that and then you sign him in an 8-year extension, you're locked in on him. So you better hope he pans out. And I mean, he's the best right wing, like you say, in the league. You would hope that pans out. I'm not mad about it. I think it's a good move. Just hope it transpires to a championship because look at the Dallas Mavericks. They look at the move they made. He's played one game, 3 quarters to be exact.
Yeah,
they were.
And they said he's done for the year, right?
Well, they don't know that, but he could. Kyrie's done. So I mean, you make moves. You do them, especially moves that have been made, and that move, and then like the Mavericks move. I keep going back to that. You do it for now. It ain't for the future. It's for now. As long as hopefully, pray to God, knock on wood, he don't get hurt or nothing, because that kind of move, giving up 2 first round draft picks, is huge.
You want to know something about NHL though? So, I know not many people understand the draft with NHL. They have like an abundance of rounds, right? If you have multiple firsts and multiple seconds, you are a god in the NHL.
Oh, I believe it.
You're the ish. You're the team that everybody wants to come to and get, because you're right. There are so many talented future hockey players that are ready to come out, and they are going to make an instant impact. You realize we are in the midst of about to see the great one, Wayne Gretzky, get passed by Alex Ovechkin. He only needs 7 goals. 7 goals to pass Wayne Gretzky, who Wayne Gretzky to this day is still considered to be the face of the NHL. It's pretty phenomenal. And Dallas, they must know something that we don't know, because they had to give up a lot to get this guy. But you're right. If Dallas, even if Dallas makes it all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals, and they say they lose, but if they lose it in 6, it's okay. If they lose it in 7, that's really good, because you got within 1 game of winning the trophy. That is phenomenal. That is a win-win. If you make it to the semifinals, which is the conference finals, that's it. You've won the trade. You've won the trade right there. Now, we'll tell you this is what's really interesting too, is when the season started, Matt will tell you, I asked, what do you guys think about the Winnipeg Jets? The Jets, they were like 23-2. It's almost unheard of in hockey to a team to basically win all but their win all of their games except for 2 that early in the season. So let's flash forward to now. They've played 63 games. Okay, they were 23-2 is what it says. They're 43-16. So they've really fallen off the rocker. The hottest team is actually the Dallas Stars. They are one of the hottest teams in the league. I mean, obviously, there are 3 teams that are ultimately hot. One of them, it is the Florida Panthers. The hottest team, though, in the league is actually Tampa Bay Lightning. They've won 9 of their last 10 games, 10 of their last 11 if you want to go back further. However, Dallas, they won 9 of their last 10 games as well. They're smoking hot. And what Dallas did today, I mean, heck, I'm kind of timid. I think Tampa and Dallas, that would be a phenomenal match. That's a repeat of the 2021 Stanley Cup. So, hey, reason we're also talking hockey, Matt, you know this. We've mentioned this plenty of times. Atlanta is biting for a NHL franchise. The owners' meetings happened this year. ESPN's reported it. Everybody has reported it. Atlanta has a 98.9% chance to win the next NHL expansion franchise. So does Houston. So the next 2 teams looks like it's going to be in Atlanta and Houston. And well, Forsyth County, Matt, you know where Cumming, Georgia is, don't you?
Yeah.
So this is an actual headline from AJC. Okay. Forsyth County moves closer to land the NHL franchise. Okay. What does that mean? Well, the investor that is building the 35,000 seat arena in Cumming, Georgia, has forked out $2.5 billion of his own dollars to build this arena. They have now garnished enough investors to buy into this. They have gotten the state, the city, the county, everything has bought into it. They have drafted the proposal. Gary Bettman is supposed to meet with these investors next Tuesday, and a decision for an NHL franchise to come to Atlanta could come within the next month. I'm talking, we could be May or April. Atlanta could know if they have been awarded an NHL franchise again. And unlike the issue with the Thrashers, you have an investor who wants the team, who wants the franchise, and has forked over his own money to help enhance this opportunity. So knowing that we have seen on this, Matt, what do you think? 98.9% chance. That's darn near guaranteed you're getting a team, but do you think Atlanta gets that team?
I can see that. I mean, Atlanta, they do have the, they have the fan base. Well, they're going to have the fan base. They're going to have, the area for it. I mean, I don't see why not.
Dustin, if you don't know, I don't think you know this. Cumming, Georgia has a wide variety of hockey fans. They actually have a place called the Cooler that is up there. It's where the Gwinnett Gladiators, which is now called the Atlanta Gladiators, they're the ECHL franchise. They practice at the Cooler. And Matt, he doesn't live too far actually from the Gwinnett Arena, which they call it the Gas South Arena now, whatever, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But Forsyth County, this is also part of the proposal. Forsyth, North Fulton, Johns Creek, Duluth, Gwinnett, like literally all of North Metro Atlanta, including DeKalb County, overwhelmingly has, I think it's like 99.8% favorability to have this franchise come to Atlanta. And Dustin, the Thrashers, they were a joke. Nobody wanted them. And that's why they went to Winnipeg. And then now people in Winnipeg, the ownership in Winnipeg, they don't want that team. They don't care for the fan base. They don't want the team. There's talks that Winnipeg will fold and they'll move. There's talks that Ottawa will fall and move to another location. But also, now I want to, what do you think though, knowing also that Houston has the second highest odds? I think it's like 88% to land an NHL franchise. How cool would that be, knowing that you're going to most likely have a second NHL franchise in the next 4 years?
Yeah, I think obviously Houston has the Texans and the Astros. Being able to get another franchise of any kind, I'm assuming just it's exciting for that area. The Astros have been lucky enough for a while to be really good, and they've even brought championships home. Now Texans, it's been a while, but you've had some good years. So getting something new and fresh, I think, is good for any city, or even if it's the first one. It's exciting to have something to want to cheer for, and for hockey fans, for anybody in Texas, it's always been the Dallas Stars. So I think it's great. I think it's always good to expand. I'm ready for the NBA to expand. Who's going to be the next NBA team? Look at the WNBA. Look at the WNBA. Seattle. I would love it. Every time you think of Seattle, you think of Supersonics. Because we ain't thinking of the Seahawks now. Look what they did today. If y'all saw that.
Yeah, Geno Smith.
So I think it's always exciting to have something new. So I think it's good for the state of Texas to have another hockey team to cheer for. It's good. I'm all for it. If it was in Austin, it doesn't matter. Anywhere to bring another sport to cheer for, because when you talk about sports, it brings you together. Even look at just the big, like Super Bowl. None of my team was in it, but we had a Super Bowl party. It's just one of those things where you get family together and you have fun and you enjoy sports. So bringing that to a town and to have a team there is always good. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited. So, all right. So you just mentioned crazy, ish has been happening in the NFL. Well, this one happened to pop up the other day. The Cincinnati Bungles. I've called them the Bungles for as long as I can remember.
They're falling apart.
Trey Hendrickson has been granted permission to seek a trade. Now, Matt, I guarantee you're probably nipping at the butt. Terry, you better get your butt cooking and get this deal done for the Falcons. But who else did we see Matt, who else did we see a notable defensive player just get released?
Harold Landry III from the Tennessee Titans.
Yep, and who else? He's another D end. Played for the Chargers.
Joey Bosa as well.
Joey Bosa, yeah.
I'll even go to another side. Look at Darius Slay from the Eagles. That was really
I was just actually about to say that. Yes,
I know he's a little bit older, but he can still play. There's been some people that are being released or seeking trades that I don't think we would have thought of going into this free agency.
No excuse for the Falcons not to pick up one of these pass rushers. No excuse.
I say, hey, listen.
Henderson. Seriously,
I say the same thing for Dallas, and they're going to disappoint. So I am right. I'm.
Okay. Hold on now, Dustin, I can't let you get away with this. You're acting like you don't have Micah Parsons and Dexter Lawrence already.
But Micah Parsons wants out. He's even said he wants out.
I know we do, but we signed our defense tackle Osa to an extension. Great. they got to get it done for Micah. Sometime either between now and the end of next year, or he's going to. They're going to have to.
This is going to be this is going to be the richest contract in all non-quarterback history coming up for you guys.
And we thought we just seen it with
no
from the Raiders.
Max Crosby.
Yeah, that was a huge contract.
No. Micah Parsons is going to get way more than Max.
I agree.
Definitely.
He's going to get 40, 45 plus. I mean, it's going to be huge. But here's the thing:
I'm talking Dak money here.
Is it going to get done? That's the thing.
Somebody will. Somebody will give him that money.
Somebody will, but is it going to be Dallas? And I hate to say this, it's not. I can't even, man. Jerry makes me so. Listen, they restructured CeeDee Lamb and Dak, right? They free up $36.8 million. What have they done with this so far? Nothing.
Well, no. That's where it's going to go. It's going to go to Micah Parsons.
Hopefully,
that's where it needs to go.
Hopefully, Listen,
but look, also, you just mentioned notable defensive players, right?
I mean,
what did the Commanders just do?
I mean, well, of course. I mean, they got Debo, but that was a smart move. You got him for nothing. For a fifth rounder.
The Washington Commanders just also released two-time Pro Bowl defensive tackle Jonathan Allen.
And they just signed Bobby Wagner again. The Commanders are going to listen.
Yeah.
Dallas is my team. But I think it was, we were talking in our Tire Sports group the other day, and it was like win now mode is what Derek was saying. And I was like, it's been win now mode for 30 years. We ain't done nothing.
Well, you really want to know why you guys won the last Super Bowl, right? Was because Jerry Jones sold his soul to the devil.
Well,
oh my God.
He did that one time. He'll never do it again.
Go ahead, Shane. Shane, you have something to say, man?
No, I've been waiting, man. But hey, we're talking about the Bengals here.
Bungles.
The Bengals are
Bungles.
Joe Burrow's prime of his career right now. So with the moves that they're making, shoring up the offense, and maybe getting rid of some, possible big cap hits, because you talk about the guy that just led the league in sacks for 1 year. I mean, he's been a solid player.
Trey Henderson, though, he's done really good his entire career.
A solid player, but he hasn't been that all-star caliber kind of defensive end that's going to give you that pass rush, to give you that edge in these playoff games and stuff like that, especially in the division that you're in. So are the Bengals, are they thinking about their moves? Make it, hey, Joe Burrow, in honesty, 2 more years before he really loses his prime. And I mean, it's a great prime. He could possibly be, one of those Drew Brees types, only makes a big game every once in a while. But is right up there, 5,000 a year. So
let's also look at the Bengals and what they did with T. Higgins. Matt has even come out and said T. Higgins, they're gonna franchise T. Higgins until he turns 40 years old. The way that the Bengals do
they're
this.
shoring up the offense. They know what they have on the offense. Now they've got to get better on defense. They know what they have to do, and that's the moves that they're trying to make.
I think that's a bad move by them to franchise tag him.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, how old is he now? And I mean, is he really just that much worth it? That's the question.
I mean, you have Jamar Chase. You have Jamar Chase already. Why are you franchising T. Higgins when you have Jamar Chase? Go get him.
Gimme thing.
There's got to be, because all kidding aside, how old is he? I mean,
he's like in his late 20s, I think. I mean, he's not like super old, but
but he is a veteran. So there's got to be. There's got to be some to franchise a guy like him, and I'll say this a million times about a million different players, but there's got to be some veteran experience on that team, and he might be the veteran experience that they need on that side of the squad. So that may be one of the reasons
Higgins
why
is 26 years old.
Well,
he ain't that man. He's a veteran, but he's not like old. He's like a 3 or 4 year veteran, something like that.
Well, this is what I can say too. If they're in the playoff race late towards the trade deadline, that is outstanding trade capital because he is a great player. I mean, as you know, somebody who pays attention to the Panthers, you know, as him coming up as a free agent before he signs his tag, we were looking at him because he would be a great, you know, kind of, you know, put two towers up again, you know, like you saw in Tampa work. so I mean, as a GM, I think that they're making some decent moves to maybe put them into a Ravens, Bills, Chiefs, Bengals kind of conversation.
So I want to tag on what Hank said too, because Hank said, "How good is T. Higgins? Is he really worth it? Look, he's getting like a $28.5 million franchise tag. All right, so let's look at the stats, okay? T. Higgins' career since 2020 up until this past year, he has a total of 330 receptions. That's a lot of receptions, yes. But his total yardage is 4,595 yards. Now he does have 34 touchdowns. That's pretty significant.
Is he worth over 1,000 yards?
Is he? Yeah, exactly. Is he worth the 28? No, I don't think he's worth the $28 million hit that the Bengals are going to get. I mean, Matt, you just said he's only had 2 years, 21 and 22. He hit over the 1,000 mark. I mean, heck, 23, he only had 650. Yes, he was injured a lot.
And those 2,000-yard seasons were barely 1,000-yard seasons.
Yeah,
let's put like
1,091 and 1,029. That's it. So let's go around the table right here. I'm gonna start you, Dustin. Is how much if T. Higgins came to you and said, and you're Jerry Jones, you're better than him, obviously, but you're in Jerry Jones' position. And you have the cap space. T. Higgins says, I want to come pay for you right now. How much you gonna give me? How much you signing him for?
Well, I'm gonna say this.
Per year
for one, the Bengals are literally renting him for 1 year for that much. That's my problem. When they could use that money to get people to compliment Jamar Chase. I'm not saying he doesn't, but I'm talking about multiple people, right? Realistically, if I'm Jerry and he comes to me, he's like, hey, I want to play for the Dallas Cowboys. For one, understand you will be number 2 right now. You may be number 3 if they still keep Brandon Cooks. You may be number 3. Understand that. Understand your role. I'm going to give you – I got to give him respect because he is a good player. He can be a good player. But when you do have those players around you, you don't always expect 1,000 yards. I give him that. But early in his career, he was the guy. He was supposed to be the guy in Cincinnati. I would give him, I think realistically, 15 a year, maybe a 3 or 4 year deal at 15 years, not bad. But 28, that's a lot. A lot of money on somebody that you don't know if you're even going to have him next year when you could do a lot with that money.
Absolutely. Hank, what about you? He's come to you. You're the GM of the Raiders, right? Come to you and say, I want to play for you. How much you giving him?
15 to 20 a year myself. I agree with what Dustin just said. I mean, it's, is he worth it to chew up another $5 million a year in salary cap space? That's what you have to ask yourself. And I don't believe I'm trying to think here. There are certain teams he could get away with it with, but not with his current situation. I don't see him being a Bengal. I don't see the Bengals. They've got way too much.
Like with Carolina, that'd be great for Carolina because they don't have nobody.
You're
right.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm disappointed that he signed. But
how much would you give him, Shane? If he came and said he wants to play for the Carolina Panthers, how much are you giving him right now? He played in Clemson. He played down the road. So
I'm with everybody. I'm an 18 to 20 a year guy because I know that he's going to be possibly that number 1 guy for us. So I'm going to do that to a 3-4 year kind of deal, especially at his age, see how it kind of produces, and especially the way that kind of things are projecting. But at a point also look at it's all a business still. You're gonna put that franchise tag on somebody, so you're gonna take that hit somewhere. So you just shored up a third option, top 2 or 3 option for your MVP caliber quarterback in the next year. So
what do you think, Matt?
I mean,
how much you giving him? If he got all right, you're Arthur Blank. He's coming to you, and you and Terry, you both are talking right now. T. Higgins is there. I want to play for you. How much are you going to pay him?
It depends what you're signing him for. Like, we don't need him because we have Drake London. They're the same player.
Right.
But if he's going to a team to be the number 1, then you pay him as the number 1. If you're going to be the number 2, you pay him as the number 2. 10 to 12 million. From what he's done in his career, 10 to 12 million that's on the low end. On the high end, about 15 million. Looking at what he could possibly do for your team. He is 6'4", 6'5". He is a lob threat. He is a threat in the end zone. I'm not taking any of those things away from him. If Jamar Chase wasn't there, his numbers would be higher. I mean, it is what it is. There's nobody else to throw the ball to. So, I mean, he's a good player. He's not bad. He's not a bad player. He's a good player. It's just that 28 million, on a team with no defense. That's probably why Trey was like, get me the hell up out of here, man.
You have better options.
Yeah, you franchise tagging this play here. Hell, we need a tight end. We need some offensive linemen. We need some more D-line. They're double teaming Trey. And because he can't get his numbers. He can't hit his incentives. He can't hit his marks because they're double teaming him because they don't give him no help. You gotta look at things like that. Who are the linebackers? They don't have any linebackers. The defensive backs are okay. They have nothing on defense.
Their two best defensive players, one just retired, and their other one is wanting to leave. Who do you have now defensively? And they were already bad with those guys.
Terrible. That's why they score so many points. They have no choice but to score 40 points because the other team is scoring 40 points.
They got to score 50.
But remember, you guys just heard what I called it. So for the longest time, the Bengals were called the Bungles because they don't do anything good. And you're right. You don't have a defense, so you absolutely okay. Yeah, Joe Burrow, dude could throw for 8,000 yards in a single season, but if you have no defense, you're wasting your time with him.
That's my problem with everything they've done. Is they have no defense. You're losing arguably two of the best just defensive players you have. I'm not going to say all of them, but you're using your defensive end, you're using your pass rushers. So now you've got to go get pass rushers, or hopefully when they trade, they get maybe a defensive player back or at least solid picks to be able to. You got to do something because you have one of the best quarterbacks in the league. You have one of the best, if not the best, wide receivers in the league. You have a secondary receiver that is in his role. What do you do now? You've got it. It's offensive line and defense for them. That's where they in a tight end. They don't really have a tight. They're as good as they look. They're not good right now with what they have structured. So if they don't make moves, I don't expect them to be any better than they were this year, personally.
Yeah, exactly. Be a duck out of water. All right, look. Real quick, want to mention this, and then we're going to go to the next story. Michael Gallup is coming out of retirement. For those who don't know, he was an averagely best player. He's making
play for the Cowboys.
Yep, play for the Cowboys. He's making a comeback. He was released officially by the Vegas Raiders. So he is free to sign with any team. He said he's making an NFL comeback. Yeah, we'll see how that works. All right, so look, guys.
Gentlemen, I have actually got to exit, so I will talk to y'all soon, okay?
All right, Hank, thank you so much.
Good chatting with you, Hank.
Hey, man, y'all take care, all right?
Take care. All right, so look, let's dive real quick into March Madness. I know Matt and Shane will be here in just a second. Let's talk March. Look, March is here. We're already seeing the crazy stuff going down. Today really got going with the women's tournament. Like the tournaments have all been just going bananas. Unfortunately, West Georgia officially was knocked out of the chance to go to the NCAA tournament. They lost to Austin P. But, just a lot of good games to go around for the women's tournament.
Oh, yeah. Great game so far.
Oh, gosh. And so let me see. Matt, I don't know if you heard what we're saying. We're talking about women's college basketball. The tournaments have begun. Obviously, everybody, for those who don't know, the SEC tournament is held here in Greenville, South Carolina, played at the Wells Barnstable Wellness Arena right down the road from me, 15 minutes down the road. Really, really good environment. Love it. Have a lot of fun. And I've been to it quite a bit. So it generates a lot of buzz around town. So one of the first dominoes has fallen for SEC. Auburn, they fired their head coach, rightfully so. It was not a very good year for Auburn women, and we've seen a lot of good quality games so far. Guys, Michigan, they not only did they win, they dominated against Maryland, which Maryland is the 15th ranked team in the nation, and they got dominated by Michigan. Good game. Notre Dame, they beat Cal, which for those who don't know, in men's basketball, both Cal and Stanford, while they are in the ACC tournament, they cannot make it to postseason play because they were officially eliminated from the possibility of doing it. I think it was due to Louisville and Virginia Tech or something like that. It's a story that came up about it. It's weird. So there's two teams that are not going to go into the NCAA tournament no matter what. Guys, Matt, what's coming up this weekend. What is the biggest game in the state of North Carolina coming up?
You got the Duke versus North Carolina.
That's right. And Joe Lunardi has said that if UNC does pull a rabbit out of its hat and upset Duke, then you're looking at they will get into the tournament as between a 10 and a 13 seed. That's the range that has been listed for them. However, if they lose, they're the first four out. So that means that you're basically skating by the hair and you chin to get in there. Matt, real quick, what games are you looking forward to for the tournament season? Get going.
I'm interested to see what all the SEC teams are going to do. SEC tournament, most definitely, man, because you have a lot of teams in there, a lot of good teams this year in the SEC. So those, I'm going to be definitely paying attention to all those games.
I'm right there with you. The SEC is back, y'all, in college basketball. Shout out to Bruce Pearl, by the way. The dude, he made everybody realize that it wasn't just a fluke what he was doing at Tennessee. He's done some darn near magic at Auburn. Auburn is the favorites to be the number one overall seed. Can't wait for that one. Shane, what about you? What are you looking forward to in this conference tournament portion before we get into the NCAA tournament? What are you looking forward to most?
Man, like Matt said, the SEC, kind of see where it all lays out. But, what I'm looking forward to most, just kind of as a sports fan, just to see how it works out. Have you guys seen the Sun Belt Conference bracket? And how
that's a weird conference, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's weird conference. Like they got 16 teams, but like the 16 and the 15 teams play the 13 or 14 teams. And then the next seeds down play the winner of those games. Then the next seed down plays. Like it's all
over the place.
Elimination bracket. It's no double elimination. It's just a whole single elimination bracket, which guarantees the number one and the number two seed in the conference basically a 5-day bye. If you're looking at it, almost correctly. You get into the semifinals automatically. So I'm interested to see how that kind of plays out. I know it's going on right now and stuff, and I really haven't kept up with it, but I'm interested to see how it kind of plays out and how everybody around the nation kind of perceives it.
Absolutely. Dustin, what about you? What are you looking forward to?
Well, I'm looking forward to the Texas women team to see, are they worthy of that number one rating they've been?
You and I actually had that conversation. You said that you think Texas is going to have the chance to win it all. I think UCLA has a legit look. UCLA, they have been dominant all season long. I don't think South Carolina is going to win it this year. I don't, because there's too many teams have caught up to them, and as far as their level of play. And Texas did own South Carolina for a good portion, because remember they had to see who got the number one seed via a coin flip.
Yeah,
so I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes too. It's going to be fun. SC is
I do want to throw. I want to throw something out there. This is kind of the whole women's. I'm going to give you all a sleeper team to watch out from conference tournament up until the tournament.
Okay.
TCU.
Men's or women's?
The women's. Haley Van Lith is a stud.
I think she's favored to be the number 3 pick in the draft this year.
Watch out for TCU on the women's side. Do not be surprised if they go really far. That's all I'm going to say. They have a team. Haley Van Lith, as you know, she played at Louisville, went to LSU, and I thought it was a terrible move for her because she had to take a back seat in a sense. Leaves there, goes to TCU. Now she's a star again, and she has them balling. They've lost 2 games this year. I expect them to win the Big 10 or the Big 12 tournament, and I think they'll get a pretty decent seed. And watch out for them. But the SEC tournament is going to be great. But I expect Texas to win it. I think it will come down to them, and I want to say South Carolina, but Tennessee is really good. I mean, there's a lot of good teams in the SEC. Don't get me wrong, but I'm excited to see is Texas going to do what they should do, and I think they should make it to the Final Four, if not to the championship game this year.
It's going to be a lot of fun indeed. All right,
the boys are
guys. It's going to be
very good.
It's going to be fun. March is literally about to happen, and in every
favorite
way
time
possible.
of the year.
Yeah,
favorite time of the year.
Everybody's favorite. So look, guys, we've had a really good show. Had a lot of fun with all of you. Which, by the way, breaking news, Matt. Kirk Cousins is actually considering waiving his no trade clause. One team that has been mentioned heavily in the pursuit of Kirk Cousins is the Cleveland Browns. This is actually coming up as of Rossini, whoever that is. He has said that he will be willing to waive his no trade clause for the right team. Browns is mentioned as one of them. The Giants have been mentioned as another. So those are the 2 teams. Just wanted to
can I say something? Kirk Cousins, just retire. Yeah. If that's your options, retire. You don't want to go to the Browns.
It says in here there's
a true dumpster fire of an organization.
Exactly. It says 7 teams, so we'll stay tuned to see what's going on that one. All right, guys, look, we've had a really good episode with you guys. You let us bend your ear for an hour and 45 minutes. We had a great start to it. We had Gerald Riggs of the Super Bowl 26 champion Washington Redskins and Ring of Honor Atlanta Falcons. We had him on. We had a great time with him. Really enjoyed actually having him on. So Matt and I have been, we converse quite a bit. Shane is also conversing with me, but Matt knows this in particular. I'm waiting. I should hear back on Tuesday if we have Sean Witherspoon to agree to come on the show. It sounds like all signs are a go, so just stay tuned for that one. We do have a gentleman named Coach Eric Gibson will be coming on our next episode on Tuesday. He is a former arena football player. He's also a head coach. Cannot wait to have him on. It's going to be a lot of fun with him. Shout out to Eric Gibson and all those involved. Matt, I sent you a message. A particular gentleman liked our Twitter page and followed it. I got his email, and guess who replied? And can you let everybody know who it is that I told you?
Oh man, yeah, absolutely. That would be the great old ESPN great Woody Page.
Yes, Woody Page. For those who don't know, Around the Horn is ending May 23rd is their last episode ever for the 23-year run for Around the Horn. I did reach out to Woody Page, and there's a chance he may be coming on. Just got to dot our I's and cross our T's, so stay tuned for that. We may have Woody Page come on very soon. Cannot wait for that one. Matt Ryan's camp, I should hear back anytime that it's a yes that he'll go on our show, so stay tuned for that as well. Can't wait for that one. And shout out to Blaze. Yes, we did subscribe. I really want you guys to look. Our good friend Blaze Smith, he is based in Louisiana. He has his own podcast. It's called Yanny Sports Podcast. Check them out. Blaze, he's got some really good stuff he talks about. So check him out. Really enjoy talking to Blaze. So guys, we do have a show again this Tuesday, 7:30 with Coach Eric Gibson. He will be on there. And then Friday we have another episode as usual. So guys, we will keep you up to date with what's going on. So for our good friend Gerald Riggs, as you guys saw, he was on the show. We appreciate him coming on. Hank, he also enjoy being with you guys this evening. Dustin, what do you say to these lovely people?
Well, for one, I want to appreciate y'all letting me come on as always. I know it's been a lot here often, so I hope I'm not bombing in on y'all's party here. I didn't get flagged. Brandon got flagged twice.
3.
respectfully, or 3.
Respectfully.
Actually 6 times because Shane flagged him as well.
Wait, Brian Kajiami did. Hey, our good friend Brian flagged me too.
Yeah, Brandon's been he's penalized for like the rest of the year. So,
Jordan scored 20 points. 20 points from Jordan. Man, come
on.
50,000.
Of course, over at Tower Sports, we, come follow us as well. And we have shows on Wednesdays and Sundays, and as well Mondays and Tuesdays right now with our other 2 groups, On Time Sports and Starting Events podcast. We have something coming on Sunday. We have a softball player that is the first in her school that's been signed in the last 17 years coming on our show. So come out and check us out on Sunday. That's going to be fun and exciting. And just, have a good weekend. And I won't do the rest because that's for Matt to do. He'll tell you how to take care of yourself this weekend.
All right, Shane, what do you say, brother?
Oh, man, as always, man, it's great to be on here, and I enjoy my time with everybody. But, as everything does, that's great. It must come to an end. So we'll see y'all on the flip side. Peace, love, and bacon grease.
Yes, peace, love, bacon grease, indeed. Look, guys, we actually peaked at 130 viewers tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in. Shout out to the Girl Dad group. That's where the majority of y'all came from. Thank you so much for tuning into us tonight. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
As I always point to this gentleman right here, Matt, let him have it.
Oh man, no man. Once again, thanks for Gerald Riggs and company for coming into the show, man. We really appreciate it. Thanks to all our guests, actually. Thanks to Dustin for coming on, hanging out with us, man. Always welcome anytime. Hank,
even my
Shane,
yourself.
Exactly. Hank and Shane, man. I want to thank you guys. Well, thank you guys as well for being part of the Sportz Nutz. Me and Brandon, really just thank you guys. But no, man, guys, everybody, tournament's coming up. It's gonna be a good weekend. I'm gonna miss my vacation weekend. I'm taking my own advice. Staying in the house. Sipping on my beverages. So if you're gonna go out, you're gonna party. Just be smart. Have a designated driver. Have your Shane, you're killing me. Have your your Uber ready, because the last thing you want to do is driving down the road, going out of your lines. Next thing you know, you hit a whoop whoop on the right behind you. Light flashing lights in the get that last sip and toss it out the window. Come on, guys. Last thing you want to do, man, is ended up getting arrested, car impounded, and you gotta go through all the fees and things like that because you're out there drunk driving when you could have been at home just chilling. So don't get flagged, guys. Just enjoy your weekend and don't get flagged in the game of life.
That's right. Don't get flagged. Hey, look, Dustin, I gotta quickly remind you. Matt would say his favorite basketball player name to use is Mr. Rondell Walker, the 7th round or whatever he is. That would be probably better than LeBron James' son, Bronny. I'm just gonna say that Rondell Walker, whatever. Matt, go ahead.
I said no. Don't take me out of context. I said if Bronny James's name was Rondell Walker, nobody would give 2 craps about any of this. Just because his last name is James, that's where all the criticism is coming from. Yeah.
Guys, we had so much fun with you. Thank you so much for everybody for watching our show tonight, spending time with us and interacting with us. Can't do this without you. You guys mean a lot to us. We will see you again on Tuesday. Until then, enjoy your weekend. I'm actually going to play a little, hit the links a little bit with another friend of ours, Matt. He's a neighbor. He is actually down the road from us, so I'll be hitting the links. But other than that, I'm going to enjoy my weekend with my girls, and including my lovely wife. Guys, be smart. Don't do something stupid. Matt's not going to bail you out. Now, Shane, maybe you can give him a call. He may bail you out. But Dustin, I don't know. Dustin is a little bit of a distance. He's not going to drive all the way up to you. It's going to take a little bit to get to you. But if you decide to drink, we're gonna punch you in the face. So don't do that stuff. Just be smart, guys. And as I mentioned earlier on Facebook, stop being distracted driving. Put the daggone phone down. Don't drive and text. It's stupid. Don't do that. Guys, have a wonderful evening. Wonderful weekend. We'll see you on Tuesday. And enjoy this lovely outro again that Matt has done. Until then, peace up, A-Town down. Why? It's the greatest sports city there ever was. Go Falcons. Rise up. Good night.